Everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please do not forget to hit on the like button. As we all know that the popular prophet who passed on the 5th of June 2021 has made a lot of headlines both in Africa and outside Africa. In fact, the whole world entirely. A lot of people have gone to mourn him, but at the same time, a lot of people, and to everybody's greatest surprise, his fellow pastors are saying things that people least expected. There's a video I'm going to leave behind of a particular pastor, Ugandan pastor, that's Pastor Jackson, who came out publicly to say things about the late Prophet TB Joshua. He is a pastor from Uganda who is called Jackson Senyoga and has engaged his followers to celebrate the death of Prophet TB Joshua because he believes that Prophet TB Joshua is fake and hindered business for his church in Uganda. This is just very shocking coming out from a pastor. Should this be the right words to use when someone has passed away? And to make matters worse, he's even rejoicing in his church with his congregation, laying an allegation and saying he stopped the business in his church. So church has now turned out to be a thing of business affair. And in a clip, which I'm going to be leaving behind the video right after the conversation, so that you will hear directly from him, the pastor could be heard declaring the man of God to be fake and said that he was happy he is dead. Who would say that kind of a thing? Even people that are not Christians, you won't hear this kind of a thing coming out of their mouth. A lot of people know, whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, you respect the dead no matter what has happened. You don't speak ill, you don't say evil things about the dead. And you are a pastor who should know better. Then you now say you are happy he was dead. He went further to even celebrate with his church members as trumpet and instruments blew in the background. And you can see this video. In that video, you're going to see exactly what happened in his church. I thought, as men of God, even if you don't speak or communicate with him, you know he's a prominent pastor worldwide. You should at least respect the dead. And if you have nasty things to say, it's better you keep it to yourself. Why come out in the congregation, in the open, record the video about it and post it out, letting people know how you feel about his death? Letting people know how you feel about his death doesn't change anything about how people who liked him still like him. It wouldn't change how people regarded him as one of the big philanthropist pastor, a pastor who gives, a pastor who was out there to share whatever he had with people. He went out of his way to ensure that people had source of livelihood. Can he boast of anything he has actually done, this Uganda pastor? He's not even well known. I think sometimes when you look at these things, jealousy could also be part of it as well. And people tend to forget one thing. Everybody must die. No one will escape death. So long as you are a living being, anything living must surely die. Because even in the Bible, it says a time to live and a time to die in Ecclesiastes chapter 9. So if everybody comes out now to start making their own comments, the man is already dead, he is dead. So why fight the dead? Why make all these comments? You only paint a bad picture about your personality. As a Christian and as a pastor, do you encourage people to be happy over people's mourning, over people's death? Or I look at his poor family. And then his family will be hearing and seeing all of this. how are you expecting them to feel? I don't think these things like this should be heard from even pastors. Like I said, even some people that are not even Christians know that they respect the dead and they wouldn't say these things from their mouth. You boldly came out in the public to say you are happy that he is dead and he stopped your business. So what business were you doing? Okay, he was able to gather the whole crowd in the whole world. A lot of people far and near was always trooping into his church. And then maybe for him, his own church, he didn't have as much crowd as Pastor TB Joshua had, or he didn't have all those international people coming into his church or trooping in and out. So he felt Prophet TB Joshua had taken all the people away from him and attracted more people to his own church. How is that his own fault? And should you as a pastor be saying things like this? So which means where the Bible says mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice. I think this pastor is now saying the reverse, because from what this particular Pastor Jackson is saying is, don't mourn with people that are mourning whom you don't like. Obviously, he has come out to display a thought of hatred. And then you preach love. So where is the love you are preaching? Even for a dead person, you're still fighting someone that is even dead. Isn't this something that should be out of his mind completely? A man has just passed away. His family is still mourning his sudden death. Neither did his family members or anybody around him ever thought that this man was going to die the time he did, because he was healthy, he was strong. His wife mentioned that yesterday. And so why are you now coming out to castigate a man that is dead? So you've made it obvious that you are not out in your church to win souls. You are out to make money. For you to say he stopped your church business, obviously you are just there for an ulterior motive. And you've indirectly exposed yourself. That is what this pastor has done. But he doesn't know he has exposed his intentions about being a pastor in a church. No matter how bad someone is, people would always say, respect the dead and allow them to rest in peace. That's why they always use that word, rest in peace. Because this person is gone. Funny enough, Pastor TB Joshua don't even know what you're talking about, because now the man is a dead man. And then you are there fighting a battle that only you can see. Fighting a battle that is aimless, because I don't even know what he's even fighting for right now. Okay, right now let's ask him a question. This Pastor Jackson, does he think that the death of Prophet TB Joshua will change anything about his own church? Or probably he thinks that this is an avenue now for him to acquire more members and bring them close, bring them into his own church and increase his congregation. That's when you'll be asking yourself, sometimes some of these pastors, you'll be wondering, are they really pastors? Are they really men of God? And again, the Bible even says you don't judge anybody. You don't even have the right to do that as a human being. You live your life and let people live theirs too. Why should there be loggerheads like this even in the house of God? If in social clubs, social gatherings, they fight themselves, they kill themselves for positions, for power, how much more you as a child of God, as a Christian, as a pastor, then what exactly is he going to be preaching to his congregation? So this is what he's saying in the congregation, and they are blowing trumpets and celebrating the death of a fellow man like you. Not just a fellow man, but a pastor like you. I think this is so heartless, because he didn't even think of the man's family. He didn't even think of the fact that they are mourning and they didn't expect this loss. You know, one thing about death is, the most or the worst part of death is when you don't even expect it. You know, it's different when probably the man was actually ill and you didn't see any form of him making it alive. It's a different case. At that time, family members and people around him will prepare their minds and know that, this man is dying, he's not going to make it. But not when you see someone who was actually very healthy, strong, and okay. Nothing was wrong with him because his own wife had to say this to explain that to the whole world, letting people know that her husband wasn't sick at all. And he was even standing in the pulpit and preaching when he just walked away and went into his chambers, and that was it. So, how shocking and how devastating will his family be? Sudden death is not something that people are happy over. It's the worst way to lose your loved one, and especially someone whom you saw or whom you were with, and then the next second the person is gone. I think sometimes some people don't understand the grief or the pain you feel when you lose a loved one, probably because it has not affected them directly. You should learn to put yourself in people's shoes, especially when it has to do with death. It's so painful when people lose people that are close to them. No matter how anybody dies, it's still very, very painful. Even those that know that their family members are going to die, they still feel the hurt inside of them. Because you know one thing, when these people are gone, they can never resurface again. They are gone for life. You can only have their memories in your mind, but you can't see or touch them again. That is the bad thing about death. And so I don't think there is a need for this Pastor Jackson to have come out in the public, even in the congregation, celebrating the death of another man, celebrating the death of a fellow pastor like him. This should have been the time they would all gather together and pray for God to console his family, and call the family or text them. If you don't communicate with them at all, then it's better you hold your peace. If you didn't have any means of communicating with his family even when he was still alive, then at this time you should have still held your peace or kept your thoughts to your own self, rather than even coming out in the public, because he has only made himself an eye of hatred towards the whole people that are even listening to him. He has just made it clear that he never liked Prophet TB Joshua. Even you as a pastor who would always preach love your neighbors as yourself, and what is he actually doing? I think sometimes, I don't know if some of these people who claim to hold on to God, who claim to work for God, really go by what they preach, because you can't be preaching one thing and you are doing another. And to make matters worse, you come out in the public, in the open, and you say horrible things like this. I don't think that sometimes they would even have thoughts of their words before they voice it out. It is really bad. People that are out there, there's no point you castigate someone that is really dead. The man is dead. A whole lot of speculation, a whole lot of things will just keep coming up every day, every now and then. But I don't think there is a need for that. Let the dead man rest in peace. Whoever and whatever anybody is doing is best known to God. He's fighting for his own personal self. This Pastor Jackson, he's more of his own selfish interest, that he has come to stop his business, so he's happy now that he's dead and he's fake. You're calling him fake. Who are you to judge? You don't have any right to judge your fellow human being. Only God himself knows those that are his. You should face yourself, face your life, face your congregation, and see how well you can establish your own place and establish your congregation, and make sure that you are doing the right thing, rather than taking the time he has to preach and communicate with his congregation. Rather, he took that time to celebrate someone's death, to celebrate Prophet TB Joshua's death. Was that necessary? Like I said, it's only God that knows those who are his. There is no point you judge anybody, no matter what any other person out there feel or thinks about the person. Keep your opinions to yourself. His family, they are really mourning. They are in great pain because they never expected their father and husband to leave them so sudden. At 57, he's still a young man, and it's not like he was even ill of anything. So imagine how painful that kind of a death will be. How painful his family would feel with the sudden demise of their own loved one. It's really difficult to see your loved one leave you alone, leave you on the surface of the earth for the rest of your life, because that person is not coming back again. I think at this time, instead of people saying horrible and nasty things out there, are coming out in the open, going online and posting things, it's better you just swallow your words, hide yourself one side, and let this family mourn. It's not nice that people will come out and start castigating a man who is already dead. Friends, what do you think about what Pastor Jackson has just done? So I'm leaving the video behind, guys, so you can watch and hear directly from Pastor Jackson. Please, if you have anything to say, you could put that down at the comment section. Please don't forget to hit on the like button. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you. God bless you all.
The news.
TB Joshua our food day.
TB Joshua is dead.
Somebody shout hallelujah. Kuba enduulu kubanga tujja kikuba olwaleero. TB Joshua mufu.
TB Joshua is dead.
Yafudde kiro ekikesezza olwaleero.
He died last night.
Nabagamba Katonda agenda kuwangula entalo mu linnya lya Yesu.
I told you God is going to overcome battles in Jesus' name.
Njagala okitwale nga buwanguzi.
I want to take it as a victory.
Obwo buwanguzi.
That is victory.
Omuntu omu
One person,
bw'abanga atta abantu 1,000,
if he's been killing 1,000 people,
ye alowooza obulamu bwe businga obw'abantu 1,000 obafa.
he thinks his life is better than the lives of the 1,000 people that died.
Gwe kibaleemu.
Just think through it.
Kibaleemu.
Think through it.
Omuntu omu.
One person.
Oyo yenkana omwoyo gwe gwenkanankana n'omwoyo gw'omwana omuto mu maaso ga Katonda kubanga gyonna myoyo.
His soul is equivalent to the soul of a baby because they're all souls.
Kiki ekikulowoozesa
What makes you think
nti gw'osobola okutta abalala
that you can kill others
kubanga ku lulwo ogwo oyagala saddaaka?
because you want sacrifices?
Tulangirira
We
mu linnya
declare
lya Yesu
in
Omunnazaaleesi
Jesus' mighty name,
emisambwa gy'abannabbi b'obulimba n'emizimu gyabwe fire. Wanika emikono eno ku bbiri.
stretch your hands to Kubini.
Ono omusajja ye musumba w'ono ow'okubbiri.
This man is the pastor for this man of Kubini.
Ekkanisa ye bagiyita Synagogue Church of All Nations e Nigeria.
The church is called Synagogue Church of All Nations in Nigeria.
Nene ey'okubbiri
Even the one of
bwe
Kubini,
bagiyita
it has the same
Synagogue
name.
Church of All Nations.
Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Oli yayigiriza ono okubba
The other one taught this one how to steal
n'okulimba
and to lie
n'okuwa abantu emiceere
and to give people
ne
rice
capati
and chapatis
n'amazzi agalimu emizimu.
and water that is special
Kati
to demons.
omusumba we Senkulumanda we amaze okufa.
So now his pastor is dead.
N'ono takyalina maanyi.
This one has no power.
Sindika wanika emikono bw'oti.
Stretch your hands here.
Sindika fire emirundi 15. Sindika fire, fire, fire. Fire! Ejaroni, ejaroni, yocha emisambwa jaroni, emizimu jaroni, emisambwa jaroni, yocha, 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 yocha. Owe South Africa Bushiri.
The one in South Africa, Bushiri,
Ali mu dduka.
he's on the run.
Bamukwata essaawa yonna.
Anytime is to be arrested.
Tasobola na kuva Malawi n'agenda mu ggwanga ddala kubanga bajja mukwata.
He cannot leave Malawi for another nation because he will be arrested.
Oyo naye alinga ataliiwo.
It's as if he's not there anymore.
Owa wano
The one here
yafa dda.
died long time ago.
Kati ono omulala Senkulumanda waabwe
This other one there
naye agenze.
is also good.
Tujja kubabala.
We will count them.
Tujja kubabala.
We will count them.
Ng'ate Katonda yakikoze
And
siffe.
it is God doing it on us.
Wanika emikono ogamba olwaleero.
Stretch your hands and say, today
Obuwanguzi obwo mbutwala mu linnya lya Yesu.
I receive victory in Jesus' name.
Obuwanguzi bw'omwoyo.
The victory in the
Somebody
spirit.
shout! He is the biggest witch in Africa.
ono ye musamiza kyasinze mu Africa.
TB Joshua has been the biggest witch in the whole of Africa.
ono yabadde senkulumanda mu Africa.
Era mujjukira abadde akola bulungi.
He's been doing well
paka lwe yajja wano
till when he came here
mbw'azikirize
to
Ssenyonga.
destroy
Oyo
Senyonga.
omusajja yamuleeta.
That man brought him here.
Mujjukira oyo ow'okubbiri bwe yampa ennaku 3 nnaku nyampe nfe.
You remember when they gave me 4 days to die?
Saafa.
I didn't die.
Yeye yagwa eddalu.
He's the one that ran
Ne
mad.
bamutwala e Butabika.
He was taken to
Bwe
Butabika.
yagaana okuwona
When he refused to
ne
get
bamutwala wa
healed,
TB Joshua.
took him to TB Joshua.
Ebifaananyi mbirina.
I have the pictures
Ng'ali mu TB Joshua mu kyaki ya TB Joshua atudde bw'ati mu ku ntebe maaso.
in the church of TB Joshua, seated in the front seat.
TB Joshua n'amugamba
TB Joshua told him,
tofaayo,
don't worry,
nze kennyini
me myself,
nja kujja e Uganda mu December mwettire.
I am coming to Uganda myself and I will finish him up.
N'ajja
He
Uganda
came to Uganda.
n'aleeta ennyonyi,
He brought a plane,
ennyonyi bbiri
2
nga
airplanes
zirimu oyo senkulumanda wa wano ne TB Joshua,
with TB Joshua and the Senkulumandwa
ne
here,
zibuukira ku nnyumba eno
and they flew up
nga
here
bayiwa amazzi wano.
as they were dropping
Mwe
water.
mwaliwo nga mubiraba.
You were here, you saw it.
TB Joshua yasula Serena, yasula ku Serena ekigo.
TB Joshua slept in Serena Chico.
Era abantu betumanyi eyo baatubuulira
The
guest
peop-
list bwefaanana.
The people that we know, they told us the guest
Ne
list.
bajja
They came
mbu batte Ssenyonga kubanga ayanise emizimu gyabwe n'obubbi bwabwe.
to kill Senyonga because he had exposed their demons.
Ne bagenda ewa Namboole
They went to
nga
Nambole
balowooza abantu bagenda kuba bangi nnyo,
thinking people would be very many.
n'olukumi telwawera,
They didn't even get 1,000 people.
n'olukumi telwawera.
Not even 1,000
Katonda
people.
n'abakubamu ebituli.
God punched holes into them.
Okuva olwo
Ever since then,
omuliro ogusindikibwa wano
the fire sent in this place
gusaasaanyiza abasajja bano.
has dispatched this man.
Bushiri
Bushiri.
naye ye tatumanyi kyaliko.
We don't know what is up to him.
Owa wano
The one here
yagenda dda.
is already gone.
Kati ono abadde azimba bintu
This one has been trying to build
kubanga
things.
takyamanyi oba kati ayingire ebyekkanisa. Yagamba bw'ati,
This is what it says.
simanyi oba ekkanisa yange eneerama oba tenegenda kulama
I don't know whether my church will survive or not
olw'omusajja omumpi oyo Ssenyonga.
because of that short man Senyonga.
Naye okwenyweza
But for me to be
mbu
able to do
n'azimba
well,
ebintu
he built up
nti singa ekkanisa egwa
that if the church
ajja
fails,
kusigazaawo amaduuka.
at least you will have shops.
Kati ekyo kyazimba ekyo,
That's what they're building.
moolo, maduuka, hoteeri,
Mall, a hotel and
kubanga
shops.
ekkanisa mbw eyinza obutawona.
Because the church may fail to
Omuliro gwa
survive.
wano Makerere wano omuliro gwa wano gubatawaanya.
The fire in this place is disturbing them.
Kati azimba ekintu kikyo kinene
He's building some big thing
naye
there.
temukitya si kinene
Don't
n'akamu.
worry, it's not big
Bwe
at all.
tunaazimba ekyaffe
When we build,
ekyo kijja kufaanana nga ekiyungu.
that will be like a kitchen.
Ekyo kijja kuba nga kiyungu
To be like a
ku bye
kitchen.
tugenda okuzimba
To what we will
mu
build.
linnya lya Yesu.
In Jesus'
Naye
name.
kyenjogera kye kino,
This is what I'm telling you.
oba bazimba bazimbe,
Whether they're building, let them
oba bakola
build.
ebintu bakole.
Whether they're doing things, let them do it.
Katonda yabambulula dda n'amaanyi gaabwe yagabajjako dda mu linnya lya Yesu.
God already stripped them naked of their power.
Wanika emikono ogambe Yesu wange weebale. Mwe abayimbi muliwa atamanyi kuzina ave ku kituuti kati. Abakubi b'ebivuga muliwa atamanyi kukuba kyuma ave ku kituuti kati. Somebody shout hallelujah. Somebody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. The man TB Joshua in Nigeria
Omusajja TB Joshua in Nigeria
has died.
afudde.
And we don't know the reason he is dead.
Era tetumanyi nsonga ya kufa kwe.
And I had calls coming in
Mbadde n'amasimu agabadde
when I
gankubirwa.
was preaching,
Mbadde mbuulira
and I
wano.
was kept looking on my phone,
Nsigadde mbadde nkitununya essimu yange
and the people that were calling me,
nga abantu abankubira
they know I'm on a platform.
bakimanyi ndi ku
And
kituuti.
why are they calling
Ne
me
ŋŋamba lwaki bankubira
on a platform?
nga ndi ku kituuti.
And they were calling back and forth.
Era ng'essimu balemeddeko bakuba.
And then I started anointing people
Ne ntandika okusiiga abantu amafuta.
until one of our members here told me
Paka omu ku bamemba baffe wano bwaŋŋambye
that he's dead.
nti
So
TB Joshua
I stepped
afudde.
aside and made a call
Ne nzirako ebbali ne nkuba essimu
to my trust source, one of my trust sources,
eri omu ku ba-
trusted sources.
emu ku nsibuko y'amawulire ge neesiga.
And surely it's all over in the news.
Era nga mazima ddala bisaasaaniddewo nammawulire.
Amen.
Amen.
Now listen to this.
Wuliriza.
I have to give you perspective on this.
Nina okulaba n'okuwa endaba y'ebintu ku kino.
If one person
Omuntu omu
can destroy 1,000 lives,
bw'aba nga asobola okuzikiriza obulamu 10,000,
10,000 lives,
obulamu omutwalo
he had a
mulamba,
following of 1 million people,
abadde n'abagoberezi abakunukiriza mu kakadde,
but he's fake.
naye nga mufere.
He taught these false prophets here what to do.
yayigiriza bannabbi ab'obulimba wano ebiki ebyokukola.
He lies,
alimba,
fakes different things,
ebintu ebimu n'abigeta.
and I'm going to show you maybe a story
era ngenda kukulagayo ebimu ku bintu
of a leader who was in his church.
ebyomu ku mukulembeze gwe yali akulembera naye mu
And you
kanisa.
are going to hear that leader,
ogenda kuwulira omukulembeze
one of the pastors on staff,
omu ku basumba abaaliwo mu
how
kanisa,
she narrates
engeri gy'annyonnyolamu
that TB Joshua was actually a demon worshipper.
nti ddala tibi Joshua yali emusinza wa mizimu.
And that woman,
era omukyalo
one of the used to be in the church,
yalinga mu kanisa,
comes out and speaks about Kakande here.
avaayo n'ayogera ne ku kakande owaawa,
She can't even pronounce the name right.
n'erinnya tasobola na kulyogera
And
bulungi.
she tells you
n'akugamba
how he initiated Kakande in his witchcraft.
engeri gye yayingizaamu kakande mu
How they
busamizi,
went on a canoe
engeri gye bagenda ku kaato
in a secret place.
mu kifo
They
ekyekyama,
spent so many days there,
ne bamala ennaku eziwerako
initiating him in the spirit of the waters.
ng'amuyingiza mu mwoyo
And when
w'amazzi.
they came back,
bwe baakomawo
he told him to change his church
n'amugamba akyuse ekkanisa
to
ye
a synagogue church of all nations.
agifuula esinagogo church of all nations.
That is all on record.
era ekyo kyonna kiri obutambi
This
weebuli.
man
omusajja ono
has destroyed so many lives.
azikiriza obulamu bw'abantu bongi.
It is, the Bible says,
bayibuli egamba
it is not good for a sinner to die in his
si
sins.
kirungi omwonoonyi okufiira mu bibi
But
bye.
if that sinner
naye bwe kibanga omwonoonyi oyo
is killing many other people,
ali mu kumalawo obatta abantu abalala bangi,
why does he think that his one soul is better than the 1,000 souls he's destroying?
ye kimuleetera ki okulowooza nti omwoyo gwogwo ogumu gwa muwendo nnyo okusinga giri emyoyo emirala olukumi gy'azikiriza?
But in the presence of God,
naye mu kubeerawo kwa katonda
no single soul is greater than the other.
tewaliwo mwoyo gwonna gusinga mulala.
My spirit,
omwoyo gwange,
my soul
emmeeme yange
is at the same value as a child of 12-year-old
yenkanyankanira ddala n'ey'omwana ow'emyaka 12
or even 10 years
oba ow'emyaka 10
or even a 100-year person.
oba ow'emyaka 10.
Souls are the same.
emyoyo gye
They
gimu,
cost the same.
gitwala kye
They
kimu,
cost the blood of Jesus.
gitwala musaayi gwa
You
yesu.
understand?
okitegeera?
That is in the economy of Jesus.
ekyo kati kiri mu byanfuna bya
We were
yesu.
all bought by the blood of
fenna
Jesus.
twagulibwa okuyita mu musaayi gwa yesu.
If one soul,
bwe kubanga omwoyo gumu bwe
which
guti,
is like in every other soul,
nga gulinga emyoyo emirala
is
gyonna,
destroying 10,000 souls
guli mu kuzikiriza emyoyo emirala
in
1000
God's economy,
mu byenfuna bya
when
katonda.
that soul dies,
omwoyo gwo bwe gufa,
that means others will live.
kitegeeza abalala
So
baakuwonawo.
in the mathematics of heaven,
mu byembalirira y'eggulu
it is joy.
liba ssanyu.
So we are not rejoicing
tetuli mu kujaguza
that he's dead.
nti afudde,
We are rejoicing
tusanyuka
that 10,000 and 20,000 and a million others will live now in Jesus' name.
nti abalala omutwalo oba emitwalo ebiri oba akakadde bajja kusobola okubeerawo mu linnya erya
Sooka
yesu.
okuba engalo nzitegeere nga teziriimu bukikya ezo zibadde engalo. Kati mu mpewo eno ogenda kuba endulu n'akabugu mu kajje kubira Yesu engalo olw'obuwanguzi bwaleese mu baana ba Katonda. Now remember, we are dealing with fake people.
jjukira wano twogera ku bafere,
Fake people.
twogera ku bafere.